What is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and today we are going to speak about something that nobody on YouTube has ever spoken about before. We're going to speak about stocks. Oh wait, literally everybody on YouTube speaks about stocks. Really though, guys, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And what we're actually going to be speaking about today is my favorite 3 sectors in the stock market right now. A lot of people are looking to buy stocks today and tomorrow because the market has been going down in a considerable amount. So I want to speak about where I am going to be looking at the most. With so much uncertainty on the market, I just want to shine some light on what different sectors and different companies I'm looking at. So I'll outline not only the sectors, but what companies in particular I'm looking at, if I own them, if I plan on buying more. Just try to give you guys some ideas so that you can then go and do more research by yourselves. But it's going to be a good one. Hopefully I'm going to be able to give you guys some ideas for your own portfolios. If you do enjoy, please smash the video a like. It helps me out massively. Drop me a comment. Let me know what stocks you're looking at the end of this week or even going forward into next week. And drop me a sub, of course, if you aren't subbed to the channel yet. Join the family. We are growing. We're on the road to 4,000. It's exciting. Be a part of it. But now, let's get to the juicy stuff. Let's get to the different sectors and the different companies. That's what we all want to know. And this right here is the first sector I want to speak about, and my absolute favorite sector to buy right now. That is consumer staple stocks. So what are consumer staples? Consumer staples are essential products that include typical products such as food and beverages, household goods and hygiene products. But the category also includes such items as alcohol and tobacco. But more importantly, I like to think of them as the things that people absolutely need. So the things that you have in your house, such as your foods, your drinks, your toothpaste, your toothbrushes, your hygiene products, all of those kind of things. And these are all really simple companies to understand. And we can obviously understand why they shouldn't perform particularly poorly in tough economic times. Because of the line that I just said, these are things that we need. Just because times get a little bit tough doesn't mean you're going to stop eating food, does it? You're still going to eat the same foods every day. You're still going to buy the same foods, the same drinks. And you're going to stop brushing your teeth just because you have a little bit less money potentially? No, you're still going to buy your toothpaste. So these kind of companies are less cyclical in nature. You know, we look at a lot of companies right now and we're seeing them go up or down 10% a day, especially the really speculative stocks. The likes of Nat and the cruise lines, all Airline Stocks, Nikola, all those kind of more speculative companies, or the higher risk companies, they can go up and down an awful lot. We generally won't see that happen with the consumer staples. Something that's important to keep in mind in these consumer staple stocks, these aren't generally the ones that you invest in because you expect absolutely massive returns on your initial investment. They're more so seen as a defensive investment, and they generally will pay a nice dividend. So a few quick points about their performance, okay? The consumer staple sector has outperformed all but one other sector since 1962. According to S&P Dow Jones indices, for more than 10 years ended April 2019, the consumer sector has returned nearly 13% annually, whereas the S&P returned about 15.5% over the same period. But on the other hand, they've outperformed the S&P 500 during the last 3 recessionary periods. So again, it makes it somewhat of a defensive investment. If you have dominantly these consumer staple stocks in your portfolio, when things get tough as they are right now, you shouldn't see as much red as some other people. And that's why they're my favorite kinds of stocks to buy right now. Looking at Pepsi, for example, one of my favorite stocks that I own, period. A dividend safety of 93, a dividend yield of 3.07%, and an uninterrupted dividend streak of 47 years. And let's just see how they're performing right now, how they've done this last little while. So if we go right from the very highs down to the very lows, they were down 28.7%. As of right now, they're not even down 10% from when all of this started happening. The S&P 500 dropped nearly 34% from highs to lows and is still down about 17.7%. But they're the main reasons that you want to be looking at these consumer staple stocks right now, is because in general, at least when times are going poorly, they're going to outperform the market. They're not going to drop as fast as a lot of other stocks will. So what are some of my favorite ones? So we're looking at Pepsi right now. You can just clump them and Coca-Cola together. However, Coca-Cola have performed much worse than Pepsi so far. They are still down nearly 27.5% from their highs. These guys definitely have not performed very well, but I am still buying them. I do own a position in them and I do plan on buying more. This right here, Sysco, is another one of my absolute favorites, a 4% dividend yield. And if you don't know who these guys are, okay, they're the biggest food distributor in the world. Everybody needs their food, man. That's why I love these. And as well, a 4% dividend, that's a fantastic dividend. That's what I aim for. Another one that you have to absolutely love, Procter & Gamble, with a 2.8% yield, a 99 dividend safety and a 62 plus year streak. These are some of the things that these guys sell. So a lot of the products that you need in your house, you know. We have things to clean your clothes and make them smell nice. Your baby's diapers, lady products, male products, kitchen towel, toothbrushes, the list goes on. Just things that you absolutely need to have in your house. They would be some of my absolute favorites, but there is loads and loads more that you guys will more than likely know of. I do own a few more, but they are my favorites. So that was sector number 1, consumer staples, my absolute favorite as of right now, and I will continue to buy into them aggressively. Now, number 2. So we just spoke about some defensive investments, and I want to speak about investments that you invest in because you believe those stock prices are going to go up and up like crazy in comparison to an ETF like the S&P 500. So there's not necessarily one sector, but these are the 5 stocks I want to speak about. They're in essentially communications and information technology. They're the 5 tech giants. You all know who these guys are. In the last 2 weeks, I've opened a position in all 5 of these companies, and I plan on buying more either today, tomorrow, or maybe next week. I'll see. But we have Apple, we have Microsoft, we have Alphabet Inc., which is Google, we have Amazon, and we have Facebook. So these are some of the biggest companies in the whole world. These guys have billions of people worldwide using their services every single day. Facebook, over 2.6 billion monthly active users. But what I really want to speak about is the growth that these kind of tech giants have seen over the past and why they could well see it going into the future as well. I'm going to start off with Amazon stock, okay? And in about 10 years, Amazon stock has returned pretty much 1900%. In 5 years, over 500%. The numbers are crazy. Apple stock 673% in 10 years. Microsoft over 500% in 10 years. Google currently up over 400%. And Facebook hasn't actually been an IPO for 10 years even, but essentially 8 years over 500%. So you get the picture. These are the massive tech giants. They're the tech leaders in this world, and they offer absolutely immense returns. And as well, since they are so big, since they have the biggest market caps in the world, quite literally, there is not much risk associated with them either whatsoever. And that's why I made it my business over these last 2 weeks to open positions in them, despite the fact I know a lot of people will say that they're all overpriced right now. I see where you're coming from, but if they are to drop further, I'm going to buy a whole lot more. But right now, after consumer staples, these 5 companies are the ones I enjoy buying the most, and I will continue to do so. That was sector number 2. I know it's technically not a sector, but you know, tech giants, they may as well be their own sector. So on to number 3. And the final one is the industrial sector. So we've spoken about, you know, my defensive plays, then we've spoken about the growth stocks, and now I want to speak about kind of the high risk, high reward boys. So the industrial sector companies provide industrial and commercial equipment and services, transportation and distribution operations. Now, what I really want to speak about today, my favorite types of companies in the industrial sector, it's got to be my airlines, guys. You already know my biggest investment in my portfolio altogether right now still is Delta Airlines. As I say that, I'm looking at them and they've fallen down 10% so far today, and the market's only been open an hour and a half, but we won't speak about that. Time to buy more shares. So remember when I said these are the higher risk, higher reward ones? They're more cyclical. Remember I said the consumer staples, you won't see them have 10% ups and 10% downs? These are the kind of companies, especially if we're going to speak specifically on airlines, that will have those kind of days. And you are going to have to be able to open your app and see how much money you've lost and be okay with it. Just bought 2 more shares. That brings me up to a total of 20 shares, and I'm down 25-ish%, but we don't speak about that. So less about me and more about the industry as a whole, and why I can sit here smiling, and why I just bought more stocks when I'm already down 25% in a company, because that is a lot to be down. These aren't companies to buy if you're going to get scared of cyclical industries. They're not companies to buy if you're going to be, you know, afraid and want to sell when you see a 10% red day, because they do happen. I have already seen so many of them over the last few weeks, and then they are followed by big massive green days as well. So when times are bad, the sector underperforms. Okay, they lost 62% during the Great Recession when the S&P 500 lost about 55%. When things are going good, however, they outperform. Okay, so from March 2009 to present, the industrial sector returned 164% versus 132% for the S&P 500. It's because of this reason I am quite aggressive with my spending on these airlines and a few other industrial related stocks. Okay, they get hit harder, which means that you can buy cheaper, and they generally see greater returns, so you're going to get to buy lower and potentially sell higher, or just hold higher forever if you're a person like me. And over long spans of time, industrials generally outperform the market. In the past decade, they returned 118% versus 105% for the S&P 500. So when things are going bad, they're bad. But when things are going good, they are good. So people in the industrials are being hit extremely hard right now by the virus, and the virus in turn has made oil an absolutely crazy commodity. You all already know about this. You know about the negative prices. We've spoken about NAT. We've spoken about storage running out. You've all heard it a million times, so you understand why these guys could be struggling so hard. Even Mr. Warren Buffett himself came out and said that he sold all of his stakes in all of his US airlines. But anyway, these to me, they're my high risk, high reward stocks, you know, so I'll let them take up a good bit of my portfolio. Keep in mind, I'm very young, so I can afford to have, you know, a decent percentage of my portfolio be these high risk stocks, because even if I lost all my money, it would not matter. I have a lot of time to make a lot of money. As I get older and older, I'd probably have less of these higher risk stocks, but for the time being, it's absolutely fine to me. But there is more to it than just airlines as well. Two other companies I love in this sector are 3M and CAT, both of which again have had an absolutely horrible day today. But we've seen this as of late. We've seen 3 or 4 bad days, then 2 or 3 good days, then 1 or 2 bad days, then a week of good days. The market's all over the place. It's when I start seeing these downturns that I start buying more stocks, baby. But that was the final category for today. It was the industrial. So I've given you, you know, your defensive investments, the tech giants who could give, you know, an awful lot of return, and then my higher risk, high reward stocks. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video. I hope that I was able to potentially give you some ideas of stocks that you may want to look into yourself and do more research on. Please do remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and my investing strategies may well not be for you. Always keep that in mind. If you did enjoy the video, please smash it a like right now. I genuinely do appreciate it so much. Subscribe if you're new around here and join the family, and drop me a comment down below right now with your thoughts on the video and what stocks you are currently looking at and want to pick up a little bit cheaper over these next few weeks, right? I'll see you all for tomorrow's video, guys. Have a great day. Peace.